What's good, YouTube? And happy birthday to the king of the monsters. Godzilla turned 67 today, and there's an atomic-sized hole in my wallet from statues, t-shirts, posters, but you don't have to spend money if you're a fan either. Over on the Godzilla channel, we got the fight we were robbed of. Final War Hedorah versus Final War Godzilla, and it did not disappoint. So many throwbacks back into the Showa era. I had such a fun time today watching that and also looking through all the things that are dropping and yet to drop. But you're here for Yu-Gi-Oh! Market Watch. I just wanted to share a geeky fandom I'm into, obviously, if you've been around for a bit. And let's go ahead and start Market Watch talking about Gold Series, which I know I've led several videos off with, but I have seen record sales using my code, and it is selling out pretty much everywhere. So why I'm urging people to consider, if they want to get sealed sooner than later, using code WhatsGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly, is the hype behind this set. So much so, I did a poll on Twitter, and almost 1,000 of you all voted, and you all called this set of the year. 56.99% of you guys said, yes, this is so hype, while others said, no, the Megatons are better, no, Burst of Destiny is better. I do agree that Burst of Destiny is more game-changing, obviously, due to new cards introduced in the pool, but Gold Series offers budget players something, people waiting for meta reprints something. It hits such a sweet spot with the collectibles, too, with the number binder cards. I feel like that did really good, but almost 20% of you guys said, nope, waiting for Brothers of Legend before I decide what set of the year, which is pretty smart as well, because we don't know how that's going to go. Also, Godzilla shirt, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. I really actually enjoyed taking this picture, and thanks for all the compliments on both the YouTube community tab and over here on progress. I'm actually, like, still losing weight a little bit, despite, like, letting myself get back more calories, so I'm trying to find a balance on maintaining weight. But with the prices over on Gamer's Choice, code WhatsGood5 for 5% off knocks it pretty decently under retail when you're ordering by the case, and just under retail already, and then a little bit more off with the code here if you are going by display. Remember, US displays have 5 mini boxes, where EU ones have 6. That's why there's a pretty big difference. When you actually have a case, you have 4 more tuck boxes within the displays total, because there's 4 different displays. I know it's confusing because you have box within a box, so it's hard not to just say box, right? But EU is what we actually saw the quality of on YouTubers and Yu-Gi tubers pulling, where last year it looked kind of bad. It had the slashes in it. It was flatter for EU. So it looks like they stepped their game up over there, and you can be relatively confident ordering EU Gold if you are into the Gold Series singles you saw. And my approach still would be to Diamond Hands this set every single Gold Series ever, and I would have pre-ordered earlier too. I gave that advice. Every Gold Series set, despite the singles, has gone up over time. The question is how much time. But if you look at even Premium Gold, where it hasn't aged all that great for the singles, some are starting to skyrocket like Dark Magician Girl and the God cards, well, it's still just proportionally way more for the sealed, because this gets ripped open so much en masse. But also later sales rates will be lower, so do consider your opportunity cost and how long it will take to go up versus that. But right now, record sales through the code. It is just insane how many people are going after this, and I do not blame them. Now let's talk about some meta updates and what's going on. Pot of Duality is going crazy for both the Ultimate, and I cannot believe my eyes with the first Ed secret. Right now, if you were trying to find one on TCG Player before bonus bucks back, you're paying more than in its prime, which was $165 before its Collector 10 reprint back in the day. $200? Are you kidding me? And people are actually spending $108, $109, $110. This went for $165 back in the day. So my thoughts are this. We saw True Draco really spike up Pot of Duality in price, right? Like, it just pushed it to the next level, and people are looking at Flunderies now and playing that with it. And the Ultimate Rare is no different right now. The Ultimate Rare is going to new levels, new proportions, almost to $300. People are basically playing this in the metagame from that, but this also gets into a lot of past formats where people want to have their fully hollowed out decks, and for a card with such a legacy to also go so well with Prosperity and then be able to continue to do this kind of thing, it's just crazy. And even the lower rarities, like the unique ones like Duelist Saga, Golds, they're going out of quantities and up in price as well. But be aware that's mostly due to Flunderies. Also, a Flunderies tech brought up my Discord. You can't special summon the turn you use the Flunderies, but guess what's not a special summon and is a tribute summon? Sphere Mode, and then the field spell gives you additional normal summons. So you're able to break a board having a kaiju-esque card, and they are noting that a lot of these are going up in price over time, although quantities seem to be filled back from the last time I covered this, but they are a similar sticking price, and there's no reprints yet on the horizon, although 2022 Megatons maybe a special version, question mark? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we only have the Circuit Break Super, we have the Dual Power Ultra, Battle City Pack Ultra, which is the original, and somehow the Duelist Pack Merrick missed this one, huh? Apex Avion going along with that tribute theme goes with both Tri-Brigade, you know, the Samorg Link and certain versions of that. Also, Flunderies is able to tribute this out and figure out things to do with it, it seems. So this card is super low on quantities and starting to trek up in price, and even the super rares are starting to run out of quantities. So if you want to get that, you might want to do it sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. This has not had a reprint for a very long time and could be one of those cards that goes from like $1 to $5 pretty quickly, and you want to get ahead of that if you want access to it. Speaking of Tri-Brigade, Fabled Cerebral is apparently in some Tri-Brigade synchro build that I haven't seen, so let me know where that came from. My Discord did briefly mention it, but the secret rare and the dual terminal up in price, where you do have the other accessible versions, but they're running out of quantities. $9 freaking to $10, 11 for first. For this guy, that's kind of getting out of hand. And as always, there's that Obedience School card too, which features him and you can play, but like this is starting to blow my mind a bit. And the other ones are Realm of Light structure deck, as well as Sacred Beast, which are relatively modern, yet Sacred Beast isn't getting ripped open like crazy and is actually way up in price for its sealed. I did mention you want to start looking at these structure decks that are super up in price, not worth to open for their singles. Legendary Duelist Synchro Storm, I just wanted to look through real quickly once again. Quark continues to go lower in quantities, up in market price, but Baronet is almost passing the Ghost Rare at this point. I did say I didn't think that the Ghost Rare would be hard carrying the set like with Rage of Ra, and it's already under 100, and it's starting to slip towards that point where the card used in the metagame is the true selling point. I guess there is a waifu tax to that, and don't blame people for it. And then the Leerlusk outperforming what I thought they would be doing along with the Speedroid stuff. Now, it is day one, specifically for OTS stores to sell Burst of Destiny, and with that competition is starting a bit on TCG Player. We see Mo Yi at 69, nice. Ecclesia at 74 rather than 86. Phoenix Destroy Enforcer, it is starting to come down in price to 130. I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily still has cheaper prices, and they're selling out of a lot of their Sword Soul stuff, so code What's Good 5 for 5% off and support the channel directly over there if you want to compare prices. I would still wait like 2 to 3 days to see how things are turning out, but a lot of them are still, even with this super up to mount competition, nearish the same prices they were, which is kind of wild to see. And like seeing Trouble Sunny here at 23, it's still the approved sellers though under the pre-sale cap, right? So we'll see the mass competition Friday and see really what's going to be super in demand and maybe even spike in price. I know that's scary to say, but spike in price through initial demand on the weekend for the real quantities hitting versus what's going to continue to come down in price. Stay Classy has a new field center. You can use code What's Good 5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly, and I really like it. It's the Joker's Night. Maybe that's some Keen Copium from me, but it's so clean on the white and limited to 200, and I love the back as well. Stay Classy keeps outdoing themselves. You can add that to your cart along with the ABC Dragon Buster, which is running out of quantities and looks so clean if you go look at the video on their page. So code What's Good 5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly on these amazing metal field centers that soon I'll be able to do the noise with. Dragonmades, the eternal rivals on Market Watch. You probably wanted me to start leading with these, you sick... Okay. Anyways, Dragonmaid changeover up in price because it's one of the few cards without a reprint that they will play. Fusion summon a Dragonmaid fusion monster from the extract using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. And while this card's in the graveyard, you can target a Dragonmaid monster you control, add this to the hand, and return that card to the hand. Pretty darn good. Lorpar is also up in price. Weird enough, we have the one seller with 0% feedback before it's 6 cards, and the other big ones, like the actual dragon versions of these cards, are starting to go lower on quantities as people target the non-waifu. I guess it's still a waifu. What are you into? I don't know, man. Anyways, Dragon the Maid, welcome, also going down in quantities and up in price. A decent card overall. All monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each Dragon Maid monster you control. Then, if you control 2 or more Dragon Maids, you can target a Dragon Maid card in your graveyard. You get to add it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, but it's continuous, so it stays up. And then, if this card is sent to the graveyard, your opponent cannot target Dragon Maid monsters you control with card effects for the rest of the turn, and you can turn that effect on yourself since it doesn't say opponent's effect. All pretty decent effects. Of course, the second two, the better of them. Rip Roaring Roaster wasn't announced in Gold Series that I saw. Somebody in my Discord brought that up, so that's an interesting thing to think about. I know that Prank Kids, they're getting their entire roster pretty much reprinted, and that's a big one to miss, so you may want to get that one sooner than later. Cyber Rev System is going back up in price. It already had buyouts before, but people continuing to buy into these and up their price. The Cyber Strike Structure deck, of course, giving more demand to Cyber style, I guess you would call them, cards, Cyber Dragon cards within the market that were not reprinted. Hopefully, Brothers of Legend gives some coolant there on some of these. And Chimera Tech Fortress and Mega Fleet also up in price on a ton of their versions continuing to go up. And Galaxy Soldier not getting a reprint. I would still say, though, Brothers of Legend is a reprint set, and now we have Ghosts from the Trash, Ghosts from the Past 2 upcoming. We could see some actually substantial reprints within Ghosts from the Past 2 this time, I hope, as Konami does seem to be taking some feedback, but I'm also not holding my breath. This is the kind of card I would love to see in there, though. And finally, Dasher is up even further in price as we approach Burst. There is a reprint potentially on the horizon since Fusion Destiny's Ultimate Rare in here, and you would think they'd package that together, but that's all the way out in February, which is pretty painful to say. So if it's not in Brothers, it's not in the Speed Duel box. Waiting till February to play your engine? Ugh! So a lot of people way overpaying for Dasher right now because it's the only version accessible and it's one of the best pieces to play in Foolish Burial with that engine. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Thanks for putting up with my nerdiness on Godzilla stuff. And I know there's a ton of stuff going on that you're like, my wallet, please stop. There's Gold Series, there's Brother of Legends, there's Burst, there's TCG Player Bonus Bucks back. I actually get it. Like, I'm feeling the burn from the Godzilla birthday, man. I totally get it. But there's just so much going on that really is hitting at the same time. And we've talked about that, right? Like, the entire first 3/4 of the year, King's Court is the best set up until then, and that's not a compliment. And then you get to the Megatons, finally some good freaking food, and then you get into all of these amazing sets where Konami's finally hitting home runs. They're saving it in the third quarter, fourth quarter. They're doing so freaking good here late. Thanks for watching again, though. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. And let me know what you think of what's going on and the beating your wallets, obviously, taking if you're playing physical Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now.